Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kate. This is Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and today I thought I would do a little tag video. I have not been filming very much this week for my vlog. Lots going on, lots of work, and a little bit of mental health struggles on my end is what's leading to that. So I thought instead of posting a vlog, I would just continue collecting footage for next week's vlog. And instead, I would film this tag video, which so conveniently was started by Elissa over at Mank Arts and Crafts. And this tag is all about diamond painting and kind of your routine surrounding it. So I thought that would be a fun tag to do. I haven't looked at the questions in a while, so this is kind of going to be shooting from the hip because I haven't prepared my answers. So hopefully I don't forget anything, or I tend to do that if I don't plan things out ahead of time, but we are going to try. What I'm working on is Office by Sonia Stegeman. This is my Pride kit for this year, and I am loving it. Although, if you're the kind of person who likes to watch the screen during these types of videos, it might be kind of a boring one to watch just because all of the colors in it are pretty much shades of brown, which isn't bothering me. And I don't know how much of that is because I have more than one whip and how much is because I genuinely love how browns look together in diamond paintings. So either way, I apologize that it's not the most colorful of backgrounds for me to be working on while we chat, but that's just what my wheel spun for my next section, so that's the one we're working on. Anyway, enough preamble. Let's go ahead and get into the tag questions. So first off, these are divided into categories, and the first category is called habits and routine. Question 1 is, what is your ultimate crafting background noise? TV show, audiobook, podcast, music, or silence? Definitely not silence. That would drive me a little bit crazy. But I love listening to audiobooks. I talk a lot about the books I'm reading here on my channel. So that is definitely probably my main go-to when I'm diamond painting. Second is YouTube, and the reason it's second is because I like to watch a lot of YouTube videos, like actually be able to have my eyes on screen to see what's happening, or at least glance up frequently, and I can't do that as much when I'm diamond painting, mostly because of my setup. The desk where I diamond paint is kind of facing to the right away from where my computer is. So that means that in order to look at my computer while I'm diamond painting, I have to kind of crane my neck 90 degrees left to look at the screen, and that's just not very comfortable. So I don't do it very often. Now, if it's a video that I can kind of just listen to while I'm working and not worry too much about what I'm watching, then sometimes I will go ahead and watch YouTube, or listen to YouTube, I guess I should say, while I'm diamond painting. But it is my second choice for that reason. I cannot watch any kind of movies or TV or anything like that while diamond painting because I need to be able to look at them, and I can't do that when I'm diamond painting. So I don't ever, pretty much ever watch shows or movies while I'm diamond painting. And even if it was something where I could, like, let's say use my iPad and stick that in front of me and not have to turn to the left to look at what I'm watching, when it comes to things like movies and TV shows, they're a little bit too distracting for me where I want to be looking at the screen. And so I'll just not be diamond painting because my eyes will be on the screen. So sometimes I will listen to music while I'm diamond painting, but I find that that doesn't distract me enough. I like to have my hands busy while I'm also doing something else. I like to multitask, And diamond painting is what keeps my hand busy, but I need some kind of something that's gonna keep my brain busy too. And that's why I need something that's a little bit more involved usually than music. All right, question number 2. Are you a morning crafter or a late night owl? Well, it's almost 4 a.m. as I record this, so that might be kind of a clue, although whether I'm a morning crafter depends on your view of what counts as morning versus late night. I count this personally as late night because I haven't gone to bed yet. So for me, it is still currently Thursday because I haven't ended my day. So I would say I'm a late night crafter. Question 3, how many works in progress whips do you currently have? I have 4 whips currently. I've got this one for Pride Month. I have my Year of Disney kit, which is currently Desert Date. I have my Ivy Along kit, which is the Moon Thief. And I have Chocolate Dream by Miss Holly, which is just a kit I have going no matter how long it takes me until it's done, you know? It's my one that doesn't really fall into any particular category other than I wanted to do this kit, so I'm going to do it. But I also don't have any kind of expectation for myself or deadline on when that one needs to be done. So it'll probably take longer than everything else to get done because everything else is kind of seasonal in a way, I would say. Next question. What is the longest break you have ever taken from the hobby? I think since I started diamond painting as a hobby, the longest break is probably like a week while I was on vacation or something. Otherwise, I've pretty much only take, a couple days break. Mostly not because I don't want to diamond paint usually, but because I'm too busy to. So I haven't really ever taken like an official diamond painting break because I was not into it for whatever reason. It really sucked me in. So now sometimes I'll put kits on a break, like specific diamond painting kits that I either don't want to do for a while because I've gotten burnt out on them, or that I intended to only do at certain times. Like I have a work in progress kit that I only do in the winter at Christmas time, and however much I get done that year is however much gets done, and then I pack it away till the next year. But on the whole, for diamond painting as a hobby, I haven't really taken any extended breaks. Do you have a dedicated diamond painting desk or do you travel around the house? I pretty much exclusively diamond paint in my office, and I have kind of a U-shaped built-in desk that my husband made for me. He let me design what I wanted and he just built it for my birthday one year, which is pretty awesome. And so I have one like leg of that U shape that's dedicated as my working area. So I'll diamond paint there or I'll do art there or what have you when I do art, which isn't as much these days as it used to be. But that is my dedicated space. There are times when my husband wants to diamond paint with me because he'll do that sometimes. He has his own kit. It's Dragon's Door. And every once in a while he'll say, hey, let's sit down together and diamond paint tonight. Then we'll be working at the kitchen table where there's room for both of us and where we can see the TV, because that technically is the only time I do watch like TV while diamond painting is if I am out there diamond painting with him. And it's less about the diamond painting and more about, spending the time with him. And he likes to have a movie playing, so that's what we do. The next category is tools and setup. And question 1 in that category is, what is your absolute favorite tray to use? And that is the Muni-made large tray. Let me grab one here. It's this one. And I have several different colors, but I recently was able to get a custom order, so I got one with my name on it, and then I got another one that says Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and I love that one too. Those are my favorite. Next question, are you Team Wax, Team Putty, or Team Glue Dots? I use Putty in my multi-placer and Glue Dots in my single placer. I rarely use wax, mostly because for me it tends to not last a very long time and I'm having to refill it a lot, and also it leaves residue on my drills that I don't prefer. I do struggle a little bit with putty for that same reason. Like I feel like I have to replace it a lot in my multi-placer, but as of yet, I haven't found a better solution. I like the different scented options that I have with putty, and I like the little pops it makes. So putty so far has been my favorite for multi-placing. I have not ever been able to get glue dots to work in my multi-placer, otherwise maybe I'd like those, but in my single placer, glue dots are perfect. They last a super long time. They make really satisfying noises when I'm diamond painting, and they're not messy and they don't leave residue, so love those. I think there's even scented versions you can get. I need to research that because I think that would be fun. However, I don't actually use dots because I found those hard to get to work. I use the long strip versions. Let me see if I can find it. These are the ones I use, and as you can see, they come in a long strip, and I actually cut the strip into smaller sections and feed those into my pen, and I feel like I can more accurately choose the size that'll work best for my pen that way. So that's what I like. Next question. What is your number one tip for using a multi-placer? Number one tip. Ooh, what is my number one tip? I have a lot of tips, but I don't know if I know which one of them would be number one. I guess my favorite tip might be that, as you can see I'm doing here, you don't have to use the whole length of the multi-placer. You can pick up fewer drills than that. So I'll use this 12 placer and I'll just use it to single place sometimes, or to place 5 drills or however many I need. And it makes everything go a whole lot faster because I'm not always trying to use different pens and match the tip to the size of the lines in the section I'm doing or whatever. I guess my next favorite tip that I would say is that if I was doing this section, say, I would do every other line and then go back and fill in, and then that way I make sure to get the drills as even as possible because I am focused more on putting each drill in its centered spot rather than butting it up right next to the drills before it. And I find that works for me for keeping my placement pretty nice and even. Now, I won't say I have the best placement in the world, but a follow-up to that, though, is that I do go in after I've placed down the drills. I'll go and I'll place a line of drills, say, like this. I'll go in and nudge them into place with my single placer if any are not quite lined up. And it only takes a couple seconds, but it helps to make sure that they are all spread out as they should be. I find this is more important usually on round drill kits, or if I'm multi-placing 12 drills in a row, it's a lot easier for them to not be lined up than if I'm just doing a few in a row. That's when I'll most often go in and make little adjustments. So even though I am going in and adjusting their position a little bit, that's still a lot quicker than if I was placing every drill by itself, single placing. So for me, it works. Now, I have noticed when I see other people diamond painting who are really fast diamond painters, I noticed that they don't do this as much as I do. They do it if there's an urgent need for it, but I'm adjusting most of the time, especially when I'm putting down that first set of skipping every other row, because if those are straight, then when I go in with the in-between ones, they're more likely to be straight. So it isn't as fast, but for me, it's useful and I like the end product, and I also find it a little bit meditative, so that's just how I work. Okay, next question. Do you use a light pad for every kit or only on dark canvases? I don't actually use a light pad at all. I find that it actually hurts my eyes more when I use one versus when I don't. And maybe that'll change in the future as I get older. But right now, I do have very bright daylight studio lights in here that make it really easy for me to see the symbols. And I do struggle sometimes when I'm, say, in the kitchen at the dining room table with my husband diamond painting. I'll notice it is a lot harder for me to make out what the symbols are because the lighting is not as good. I'm having some issues with my multi-placer washi tape coming apart here, and it's not staying in my pen, so be right back. Okay, I'm back. I also changed putty because my putty was getting a little old, so I figured might as well change that out too, huh? Anyway, so yes, I do not use a light pad. I actually did have one for a while and try it out to see if that would work for me, but since I wasn't using it, I gave it to my husband's grandma, who was interested in trying diamond painting, and so I no longer have one. I actually originally had one for art purposes, like if I had a sketch that I wanted to trace onto watercolor paper to paint it or something. That's why I had it originally. So I'm probably gonna have to get another one if I ever get back to doing more traditional artwork, but for now I haven't needed one, so I don't have one. What is your favorite brand or scent of crafting wax? I tend to use Putty, so I will answer what my favorite brand of putty is, and that is both Randa's Crafty Corner and Dot Dot Putty from Butterfly Effect Wares. I love both of those, and I use them pretty much exclusively because I don't really have any other ones. Next we have canvas and drill choices. If you could only choose one for the rest of your life, square or round drills? Well, as you guys probably know if you've been around my channel, I tend to purchase based on the artwork itself rather than the drill shape because I do like doing both rounds and squares. But if I had to make a choice, it would be squares. I definitely prefer doing squares. I like the finished look better. I like that no debris can get down in between the drills and make the canvas look gross. And I like the way they click into place when you're working. I prefer squares for a lot of reasons. So I would definitely say squares on that one. That's a pretty easy answer for me. I do think that I would wish sometimes that I could do a round kit, and I think a lot of that would be wishing for certain artworks that were rendered in rounds, but yep, I would pick squares. Also, I guess I'll add to that and say most of the artwork that I tend to like diamond painting usually needs to be squares because it's pretty detailed. So that's another reason. Most of the artwork I like is rendered in squares. So that's another reason I'd pick squares. Next, what is your ideal canvas size? Snack sized, under 30-40 centimeter, mid-sized, or giant confetti monsters? I would say I prefer the biggins. I like really big canvases because it gives the most space to render the artwork well, and I enjoy doing the little details. I really tend to like 65 centimeter canvases, like the ones that are 65 centimeters on the shortest side. So that is probably my favorite. I also really like the 50-ish centimeter, like 50 by 70 centimeter. That's probably my second choice. And then my third choice would be the really large max size 70 centimeter to however long kits. I actually struggle doing smaller kits a lot for some reason. I feel like the smaller kits almost aren't as satisfying to do, and I'm not really sure why that is. It's just something I've noticed. When I go to do a kit and it's too small, I don't get as much satisfaction out of it. It's weird, but there you have it. AB drills, fairy dust drills, or rhinestones. I'm assuming she means like crystals or iridescents there. Which special sparkle do you love most? I think while they all have their place, including electro drills too, I personally like, oops, I have been not doing the top row here. I'll have to go back in and fill that in. I personally like fairy dust the best. I think they're the most versatile, and I like the fact that they can be used pretty much in any situation and still look good. So they are my number one. Number two is probably iridescence, and more because I just think they're gorgeous. They're not as practical to use on a kit extensively because, and this is subjective, right? Everyone has their own opinion on this. But for me, I think if iridescents are used as part of certain gradients or overused on a canvas, they tend to skew the colors so much that it makes it look a little weird. I think they're great when they're used in specific spots to highlight very particular things in an image that make sense. Like, for instance, I use them a lot in Christmas lights, like the actual bulbs, because to me that makes a lot of sense. But for instance, if there's a sky and one drill in the sky is an iridescent or crystal color as part of the sky gradient, it's going to look really weird. So you can't use them in as many places. But man, are they pretty. Like when I did Friends of the Rainbow, my Pride kit from last year, that's the Disney one where it's got like the standard characters and Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, Daisy, all against like a rainbow background, and the whole rainbow was iridescent. That was so gorgeous. To me, like that was a perfect use of iridescent drills because it made sense to be there, and the whole rainbow was iridescent, so it looked natural. And yeah, I think when used well, iridescents are so pretty. But there is, in my opinion, a time and a place for them. And that has to be carefully observed and chosen with intention. Next, do you prefer canvas imagery that is hyper-realistic or abstract and cartoonish? I don't know that abstract and cartoonish is an accurate category of how to describe what I like. Most cartoonish artwork, I would say, isn't super abstract. Like it's very concrete as to what it's showing. I think of abstract artwork like paint pours or just shapes that can look like something if you squint your eyes, but aren't necessarily very clear as to what they are. That's abstract to me, but maybe I'm defining it in a different way. I tend to like very artistic looking images. And I say artistic in the way that it's very clear that this is artwork that was created by an artist with an artist's hand. So things like Mrs. Butter D and Ivy Dollamore and Miss Holly and Marigona Sully and Art by Julia. Those are my favorite artists. Rosie Scribbles, those all have a very particular style that I eat up. And I'd say, I guess those are pretty cartoony, but they're just really indicative of those artists' particular styles. And every artist has a style, you know, like landscape artists have a style. I also enjoy those because I really love, like, Sonia Stegeman has a style like that. And I love being able to do the lines first and then go in and fill in the color. Is really satisfying to me. It's like I'm coloring in a coloring book or something. So I really enjoy them for that reason too. Okay, next. Confetti heavy or color blocking heavy? Which makes you happier? I love color blocking. If I had to choose between color blocking and confetti, I would definitely choose color blocking. But I do understand why confetti is necessary, and I definitely think it is necessary to get the details that are needed in diamond painting artworks. So it's a necessary evil. There are like different levels of confetti though, and for instance, computer rendered kits I find a lot more difficult to complete because the confetti is so arbitrary almost. Like you can tell it's not there by intention, and that makes it more difficult to diamond paint it, in my opinion. I prefer hand rendered kits for that reason because they tend to have deliberate confetti for a purpose, and I can like put my trust in that it's gonna, like every drill that I place down has a purpose for being there. I just find that satisfying. Okay, that's the end of the canvas and drill choices section. Next we have the stash and community section. All right, how many unstarted kits are currently in your stash? And I'm gonna have to give an estimate here because I am pretty unorganized and I have not entered all of my kits into my Gems Flow yet. Even some of the kits I have here at the house already, I haven't entered yet, and I have definitely got some on order that I'm still waiting for to show up, and I don't tend to enter those into Gems Flow until I get them. So technically my stash is going to be bigger than even what I estimate here because I have some that are due to come in. But it is currently sitting at just over 150 unstarted kits. I feel like that is a good number for me. I am not upset at that number. I enjoy having enough kits in my stash to choose from when I'm starting a new project that I can kind of feel like I'm shopping my stash. And if there's events going on, I love to participate in events, and I like to be able to have choices to use for different events. So I'm pretty happy with where my stash is at. What is the most expensive diamond painting item you have ever bought? I think I purchased a diamond painting kit on a D-stash that was slightly over $100. It was one of the kits from one of the DAC mystery boxes. And so for me, that was the most expensive because if I buy from Diamond Art Club's website, number one, I get an employee discount. I'm very lucky about that. And number two, I can use free shipping and stuff like that to get the price down a little bit. But when I'm purchasing on D-Stash, I'm paying, equivalent to full price plus shipping and stuff like that. So that is probably the most expensive item that I have purchased. Worth it. Next question. Have you ever completely ruined or thrown away a kit? What happened? Yes. I have thrown one away, and I wouldn't say it was ruined. It was just never gonna get finished. So I did throw it away. And it was, I think in 2024, I did a temperature project, like a cross-stitch conversion temperature project. And towards the end of the year, I ran out of the drills that I would need to finish it, and I wasn't enjoying how it was looking. So I just decided that rather than purchase more drills to finish it off, even though I was getting close to done with it, I would just not finish it. And I'm okay with that decision. I lived and learned, and I have discovered that I don't think temperature projects are for me, or at least that one that I was doing was not the right fit. I don't know which one it is. I might try it again sometime in the future, but that experience showed me that that wasn't the right way to go about it for me. Okay, next question. What do you do with your finished canvases? Portfolios, framing, gifting, storing? I don't have any portfolios. I do have some of my kits framed and hung up in my house. I do have some of my kits hung up in my house that aren't framed. Like I've just kind of pinned them up on the wall, and most of that is here in my office. One of them is in my bathroom, but that's just because I don't want to buy frames for them. Maybe someday. And then most of them I just put back in their box and store them, which is completely fine with me because I do these mostly for the enjoyment of the process and not really for the end product. I have gifted some. I did a Katara kit that I gifted to my eldest, and I've done a wolf one that I gifted to my dad, and like a Mickey and Minnie one that I gifted to my husband's grandma because she's really into Mickey and Minnie. So I do gift them sometimes. But most of the time they just go back in their box and go in a storage space somewhere. And I am fine with that. I definitely don't know if it's sustainable if I were to finish like all my diamond paintings. And maybe eventually I'll feel like I can give some of them up and get rid of them or find something else to do with them. But it's not high on my list of priorities right now, to be honest. I'd just rather let future Kate think about that. And let's see. Oh, last question. Who is your favorite diamond painting content creator to watch? Now, Alyssa, I don't know if you're trying to start something with this question, but there is no way I'm going to name off like just a single person because I can't pick favorites. I watch so many creators and a lot of them are my personal friends and they just like, no, there's no way I can narrow it down to a single favorite. And I probably won't name any by name either, just because I can't name everybody. And if I were to forget anyone or leave someone out due to, time reasons or whatever reason, I would feel pretty bad if someone felt hurt by that. So I am going to instead name off my favorite types of diamond painting videos to watch. So my absolute favorite is vlogs. I love watching vlogs. I love long vlogs. I love short vlogs. Just give me the vlogs. I will watch them. I will sit there and watch them for hours. I love them. I just feel like it's so much fun to get to know people on that level where you can kind of see bits of their life that don't necessarily have to do with diamond painting, but kind of things that surround their diamond painting activity and, bits that they feel comfortable showing of their home life and stuff like that. I feel like I'm hanging out with friends and just, like Michaela says, doing life together because it's fun and we're besties. I love vlogs. And then my next favorite to watch are challenge videos. I think challenge videos are super fun, especially if they involve like a spinny wheel. I don't know. I like the randomness of that, the challenge of that. I also like timed challenges and stuff. They're just any challenge video I'm going to enjoy probably. So those are my two favorite kinds to watch. And as for who I tag to do this, well, Alyssa kind of said that anyone could do this that wants to. So if you have a channel, you're already tagged by multiple people, I think. So I won't add to that, but I will say that if you don't have a channel or don't want to do this on your channel, feel free to answer some of these questions in the comments because I'd love to see your answers too. This was a fun tag, so thank you very much, Alyssa, for creating this and tagging everybody in the community to take part. It was really fun. And I will have a vlog for you guys probably next weekend. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I won't because I think next weekend might be the last weekend of the month or the first weekend of July, in which case I will have my month in review go up. But you'll get a vlog eventually. And hopefully by that point, I'll have enough footage for it. Just now that we're at the end here, I'll say that I'm struggling with a little bit of executive dysfunction lately. So that has been something I've been struggling with as far as getting footage for the vlog. I haven't been doing a lot of diamond painting, and I've kind of just been sitting here in a vegetative state a lot of the time, or playing video games because video games have been a really good mental break for me lately. So with that said, thank you all so much for joining me for this tag video. I appreciate you being here, and I will DAC you in my next one. Bye, everybody.